You're listening to Healthy House Calls with Angel, episode number 3. Hello, welcome to Healthy House Calls with Angel. I am your host, Angel Shannon, giving you tips, tools, and holistic strategies to live a healthier life by intentional design. Join me as we explore the landscape of lifestyle medicine, offering practical tips that help you eat, sleep, move, and live better, and help you become fit and functional for life. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Hello. Welcome to the third episode of Healthy House Calls with Angel and the Fit and Functional for Life community. I'm Angel Shannon, your host, and I want to welcome you to a community that believes that good health is so much more than just a normal physical and the weight on a scale. Good health is also the sense of harmony, balance, peace, purpose, and fulfillment we feel in our lives. If you are brand new to this podcast, here's what I would like you to know. We're a community that believes first and foremost that health is the first wealth. And because of that, we declare our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being to be our single most important priority. We value knowledge, wisdom, and most importantly, personal transformation. We take our health into our own hands by being informed and empowered. We take action and we hold ourselves accountable. We prioritize rest, movement, mindfulness, optimal nutrition, spiritual growth, and meaningful work that aligns with our life's purpose. In a nutshell, we are a community that desires to be fit and functional, not just for a day, not just for an event, but fit and functional for life. Welcome to the third episode. We are going to unpack part 2 of De-Myth-tifying multivitamins. This is part 2 because in part 1, we talked a lot about the myths that surround multivitamins and supplements. Most of you know I am a nurse practitioner. I specialize in integrative health and lifestyle medicine for adults and seniors, and I cannot count the number of times I've had people say that they've went to other doctors or other healthcare providers, or they heard on Google that you get every single nutrient that you need from your food. And that is absolutely not 100% correct. Okay. So if you didn't hear my takedown of that argument in episode 1, I invite you to jump on over and listen to the part 1 of episode 2 so that you can hear my takedown of that, and then jump back into this part 2 of that same discussion about demystifying multivitamins, because we're going to keep going with what I want you to know about supplements, and specifically multivitamins, because there are plenty of supplements on the shelf, but I really do want to focus in this episode on specifically multivitamins. So I am going to jump right into that. And I want you to stay on for this whole episode because I've got an exciting announcement that I want to share with you, and something I would like to offer to you as a way of saying thank you so much for being a listener of this podcast. So let's jump in right here and right now. We're going to unpack the truth about vitamins and supplements, why they are so necessary, and how to choose them wisely, why they're so important as we age, and why they're even more necessary as we move through this global pandemic. We are 1 year into a global pandemic, and I want you to have this information. Now, again, in part 1, I presented the question that I get asked a lot in my clinical practice, and that is, don't you get everything you need from your food? Absolutely not. So let's go ahead, get started. You're going to tune into part 1 that was in episode 2. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the fact that millions of people take multivitamins every single day. And unfortunately, people often wind up still having inadequate intake of essential micronutrients. Many of my own patients will come to me and say that they bought such and such vitamin and they've been taking it for such and such amount of time. They found out from their friend Google that this was supposed to be the ultimate, multivitamin, and they don't feel any better. So I'm going to share with you why that is likely the case. Let's review that the average American diet is nutrient poor. That is a fact. And many of us aren't taking in nearly the amount of fiber, protein, and antioxidants that we need for sufficient cellular energy production, metabolism, and detoxification needs. When I mention the word detoxification, I'm not talking about it in terms of, the detox, diets and things like that. I'm talking about cellular level detoxification of heavy metals, toxic elements, the things that come in those styrofoam containers that we're all picking up food in, plastics and things, endocrine disrupting chemicals. I'm talking about that level of detoxification, cellular level. Many of us are not taking in nearly the amount of antioxidants and vitamins and minerals that we need for that level of cellular activity. Keep in mind that certain chronic health conditions actually increase the need for certain vitamins and minerals, okay? Also keep in mind that as we age, our capacity to absorb and use many nutrients decreases, and that's just biological fact. So when I just said chronic health conditions, I'm talking about things like heart disease, like diabetes, like metabolic syndrome, like, hypertension. These are some chronic health conditions that actually can increase the need for certain vitamins and minerals. And lastly, that certain medications like oral contraceptives, for instance, can compete with critical nutrients and lower their levels, particularly the B vitamins, B like boy. So all of these factors together can create huge micronutrient deficiencies and nutritional gaps, especially and probably more importantly, in an environment where there is increased cellular level stress. And we are all in that environment right now. So let's talk about what we need to do and what we need to be thinking about first and foremost before we rush out to buy, the latest and greatest multivitamin, something that's showing up on your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed, something that you found on Google or in Walmart or any other place. Here's where you want to focus step by step and following these recommendations. Okay. Number one, clarity about your own needs. Gone are the days of just making blanket recommendations for everyone, that everyone should be taking, everything. I'm a nurse practitioner. I am a specialist in integrative and lifestyle medicine. And I can say in that area, and this differs from conventional medicine, we really do focus on personalized medicine, personalized recommendations. We're not looking at just, we're following the science and following the guidance, but we're applying that science and guidance to each individual person because we're all different. We're all living different lives. We've got different, genetic factors. We've got different levels of stress. We've got different pre-existing conditions and things, chronic health conditions. So gone are the days of just saying everyone should be taking, 500 milligrams of this or that. These days, particularly in my specialty, we focus on a full annual physical and a robust nutritional assessment. That should just be part of annual preventive care. You want to be talking to your own healthcare provider about every system from the top of your head, which means your brain, to the soles of your feet. So this is going to mean a physical exam and labs that are reflective of brain health, labs that reflect endocrine health, labs that reflect heart health and what's happening in your immune system. So for me, in my practice and in my coaching work, every person gets a standard panel of labs that we call an overview panel and basically looks at the basics and a little bit more. So a fasting blood sugar and hemoglobin A1C. We want to see what's happening, if there's any pre-diabetes happening, if there's any insulin resistance happening. We want to look at a cholesterol panel. We want to look at a complete blood count, or CBC, to see where there's possibly any early anemia happening. And we get a view of the white blood cells and the immune system. We do a complete metabolic panel, or CMP, which gives us a view of the liver and kidneys and electrolytes. We want to see a thyroid panel to see how healthy the thyroid is, because remember, your thyroid is the master engine. It's the thermostat in your body, and there's so many functions that are governed by the thyroid. So you want to have a big overview, okay? You want to see the full landscape. I also take it a little further with functional lab testing to really dig a little bit deeper. Now, functional lab tests are not part of routine physicals unless your healthcare provider specializes in functional medicine. And I do specialize in functional medicine, lifestyle medicine. I do these tests because I really like to look at root causes of symptoms. And I really take a strong proactive approach in my practice. That's how conventional medicine differs from functional medicine. The paradigm is all about proactive. Let's see what's happening before it becomes a problem. Let's prevent disease. Let's catch things early on, things like pre-diabetes and pre-hypertension, because when you do that, it's much easier to make lifestyle changes and possibly reverse a condition. Whereas if you wait until it's full-fledged hypertension, full-fledged high cholesterol, or worse, full-fledged diabetes, there's destruction of beta cells, as is the case in diabetes, or damage to the inner lining of blood vessels when we're talking about hypertension and high cholesterol, then it's far more involved and far more expensive to treat. And at that point, there's slimmer chance of reversal of a disease. There's simply treatment and getting control. So let me tell you a little bit about my investigative path in my lifestyle medicine practice and why I do functional medicine tests. The one that I really love is the nutrient testing, because I go a little bit further investigating organic acids. Organic acids give me insight into the cofactor needs. So certain elements in the body are necessary in order, they act as cofactors for other actions in the body. These organic acids give me insight into digestive issues, cellular energy production, neurotransmitter metabolism, what's going on in the brain, and detoxification needs. These functional medicine tests help me take a look at oxidative stress markers and see where there may be deficiency in antioxidants. Helps me look at amino acids, the essential and non-essential amino acids, to give me insight into what's happening at the dietary level and whether there's maldigestion or malabsorption. I also look at toxic elements. So I want to see whether there's any mercury or any lead or any other, toxins that are floating around that might be competing with some of these minerals, vitamins, minerals, and nutrients in the body. So all of that to say that I do functional lab testing in my practice because I do specialize in lifestyle medicine. My clients and patients, coaching clients and patients, get a tremendous amount of value from this testing because, again, we use the test, don't guess method. We don't make recommendations for, just blanket recommendations for supplements without taking this personalized approach to see what each individual's needs are. So my point here is that you want to have a thorough nutritional assessment. And if that's not something your healthcare provider does, then consider seeing a functional medicine provider, a naturopath who has additional training in functional medicine and functional medicine testing, or even a registered dietitian who has experience with functional nutrition. That's the key word that you're looking for here is functional nutrition, functional medicine, because it is a higher level of educational training. You want to be getting a baseline assessment before you're running out the door and just randomly purchasing supplements without knowing what your needs are. Number 2, here comes the detective work. You want to have that thorough professional analysis of your lab results. So there are lots of companies these days where you can order your own things and sort of, Google your way through the results. I don't recommend that. I really do recommend working with a professional to identify where your nutritional gaps are and line that up with the supplements that you may already be taking. This is what I call in my practice the brown bag check. And this is important because in a recent survey by the National Institutes of Health that was published, I think about 2017, 2018, it was discovered that 14% of the cohort that was in the study identified as using full spectrum multivitamins, and they were still deficient in at least one nutrient. So that begs the question, what's happening with these multivitamins? What's the quality of the vitamins that the people were taking? And or are there other factors that were interfering with the absorption of their nutrients? Remember that deficiency is defined as a nutrient level being so low that it causes a specific disease to manifest, such as bone disease or rickets, that is the result of low vitamin D. Insufficiency, on the other hand, describes less than optimal levels of an essential nutrient. Right now, much of the COVID-19 research studies are revealing that there's a deficiency in 25-hydroxyvitamin D levels. So it's important to identify for yourself whether there's deficiency or insufficiency, because that's an important distinction to make when you are choosing the correct dose of a supplement. Number 3. With your lab results in hand, and before you rush out and buy a supplement, you want to, and once you've worked with your own professional healthcare provider, you want to know each nutrient's optimal supplement form. Now, this is really, really important. It's all important, but this is really important. There are some nutrients that need to be converted in the body into their metabolically active form in order for them to be beneficial. An example of this is folic acid or folate. Folate is formally referred to as folacin. It's found naturally in foods as folate. Folic acid is the man-made version that's sold as supplements and is added to fortified foods. So I want to say that again. Folate is found naturally. Folic acid is the man-made version sold as supplements. So what you see on the shelf is folic acid. Folate is a B vitamin that is absolutely critical for cell growth and metabolism, and it's very important for pregnant women and women in childbearing age because it reduces the risk of brain and spine defects in a baby's brain. Folate deficiencies are common in people who have digestive issues, kidney or liver issues, those who have abused alcohol. You will commonly find folate deficiency. Folate needs to be converted by the body into its metabolically active form, which is 5-methyl-tetrahydrofolate or 5-MTHF. If folate is not converted into the 5-MTHF form, it's not metabolically active. And there are enzymes that are involved in the body that control this conversion. Synthetic folic acid is converted into, and I'm going to give you some science here. So those of you who love the science, I'm going to just break this down. Synthetic folic acid is converted into dihydrofolate, which is then converted into tetrahydrofolate, which is converted into 10-formyl tetrahydrofolate, which is then converted into 5,10-methenyl tetrahydrofolate, which is then converted into 5,10-methylene tetrahydrofolate, which is finally converted into 5-MTHF. So all of those steps that I just laid out, all of that conversion has to take place by way of specific enzymes. Now, the reason this is important is because roughly 35 to 40%, according to the science, 35 to 40% of people have a gene variant or a SNP, which stands for single nucleotide polymorphism, that interferes with or impairs their ability to convert folate into its active form. These people should be taking, these people optimally under the guidance of their healthcare provider could be taking all the folic acid they want, but if the conversion isn't happening, they're missing out on a critical nutrient. So for these people particularly, and I would make the argument for most people, a supplement with the metabolically active form of folate or 5-MTHF is probably necessary. 5-MTHF has been shown in studies to be almost 7 times more biologically active than folic acid. So I want to just underscore all of this, that all of what I'm saying is educational purposes. You want to be checking in with your own healthcare provider. For me, with my coaching clients and my patients, I am always looking for 5-MTHF conversion issues, because B vitamins are so important. Folate is so important. And again, I do the test, don't guess method in my practice. And this, brings home the point about you want to be working with a professional, because you want to know which supplements really should be in their most biologically active form before you are rushing out and just buying any old thing off the shelf. Next, you want to be looking at potency. Remember that the labels you're reading on supplement bottles and products that are sold in the U.S. are based upon recommended daily allowances and average requirements as established by the U.S. federal government. And these standards were set many, many, many years ago. I do think there was a recent update. But keep in mind, even with updates, these averages are just averages. They don't take into account underlying health issues that may make your own nutrient requirements higher. So for example, people with heart disease, high cholesterol, diabetes, they have different nutrient requirements for optimal health, for cellular metabolism, for detoxification, and for keeping those conditions under control. Older adults and elderly absolutely have different nutrient requirements. People who are taking certain medications may need higher potency supplements, as we talked about in the first episode. So you want to be tuned into potency. And again, this is something you would be talking about with your own professional healthcare provider. Okay. And finally, you want to consider additional nutrients that aren't commonly found in basic multivitamins. So when you and your professional provider are having this discussion about your nutritional health, and you're looking at your clinical results, and you're seeing where your deficiencies are and your insufficiencies are, and you're trying to build the ideal multivitamin for yourself, you want to be looking for multivitamin products that also include nutrients that aren't commonly found but are very important. Boron, mixed vitamin E tocopherols, alpha lipoic acid, bioflavonoids, and carotenoids like lycopene. When I'm building an optimal multivitamin for my clients, I'm looking for key nutrients. I'm looking for some of those ones that multivitamins that include the extras, the really important things. And here's what I'm gonna share with you. Here are the ones that I'm looking at. These are the most important that I want to see in a really good quality multivitamin. I definitely want to see vitamin D for bone health, healthy cell division, and immune function. That's just top of the list. Vitamin C for immune function, collagen, and connective tissue formation. Remember that connective tissue is found throughout your whole body. It's in your arteries, the arteries that where blood flows, blood is flowing, collagen, the connective tissue is found in your skin, your bones, and teeth. So it's really, really important. I want to see a multivitamin that has a robust quantity of the B vitamins. They're extremely important to help with energy production and energy release, for healthy nervous system function. And B vitamins, many people don't know, are the precursors to many of the important neurotransmitters in your brain. B vitamins govern so many essential functions, and they work together to maintain overall health. And again, as I said earlier, you want to be sure that you have the bioavailable forms of B2, B12, B6, folate, and the others. Mixed vitamin E tocopherols. These are the 4 forms of vitamin E. A lot of people don't know this, but there are 4 forms of vitamin E: alpha, beta, delta, and gamma. They all work together for reducing inflammation, reducing oxidative stress, and many multivitamins only contain the alpha tocopherol, and some of the clinical research shows that all 4 forms, when taken together, are a better preventive strategy than taking just one form alone. And that's based on, as I said, many clinical studies. I also these days really look for alpha lipoic acid. It's another natural compound. I look for it because it's a support for vitamin C and glutathione, and it helps those to do their job to chase down and fight against free radicals. And I'll tell you, we need that now more than ever before. The amount of physical and mental stress that many people are under as a result of the pandemic, not sleeping well, working long hours. We need all the support for immune health and free radical elimination in our bodies, all the support we can find. So I'm really always investigating supplements that have that as an inclusive product. Selenium is another mineral that I absolutely like to see in a robust multivitamin because we know that selenium supports the immune system. It promotes good heart and brain health. I also look for vitamin E and vitamin A in 2 forms. I look for retinol acetate and beta carotene. Vitamin A is really crucial for eye health. So for those of us listening in today who are on Zoom calls all day or, typing away at screens, want to be tuned into your eye health, and vitamin A is one of those that I definitely look for. It supports immune health, also essential for fighting against free radicals, healthy skin, thyroid hormone production. It's implicated in thyroid hormone production, and of course, bone health, teeth, and gums. Last, but certainly not least, I look for specific plant extracts. So this is going to take you into a whole different level of multivitamins. So the average ones, again, on the shelf may not include plant extracts, but the ones that I typically recommend for my coaching clients and in my clinical practice are those that contain specific plant extracts that are rich in phytonutrients. Phytonutrients that are bioactive secondary metabolites. Phytonutrients are bioactive secondary metabolites in plants, and they're clinically shown to offer specific health benefits. I look for those phytonutrients that optimize cellular communication, that protect cells, and that maintain DNA stability and protect cells from oxidative stress and free radicals. I'm specifically looking for plant extracts that contain polyphenols, anthocyanins, cyanins, and antioxidants. All of that to say that I'm a big believer in plant medicine. I look for those phytonutrients because as you continue to age, protecting the cell is so important. We're talking about cells as they exist throughout the body. So cells on your skin, cells in your heart, cells everywhere. You want to be protecting the integrity of the cell. And that's really what all of this ultimately is about. It's about energy, providing the cell with its proper energy, protecting the cellular communication, and maintaining DNA stability. Because remember that, DNA is what drives everything in the cell. And when we have failure in proper DNA formation, that's when we develop the precursor for disease, different types of tumors, cancers, things like this. Okay, so cancer is just really one cell that went wrong, and doubled and tripled and quadrupled and grew from there. So that's really what I'm looking for when I am building the best multivitamin. So let's wrap it up with 5 important things to look for when you're choosing a multivitamin. My rule of thumb is that the best supplement is the one that is taken consistently and one that meets specific manufacturer criteria. And I want to just stop for a minute when I say the best supplement is the one that's taken consistently. If you have to take 5 pills of something to get the proper serving, chances are you're going to fall off in taking that thing consistently. 5 pills for one serving of one supplement can be a lot. So I want to say right off the bat, what you want to be looking at is serving amounts. You want to see how many pills do I need, or how many, cups full of this powder or liquid or whatever do I need in order to have one dose of this thing. One of the things I see a lot in my clinical practice is that people will say, I'm not going to buy such and such brand because it's really expensive. I'm going to choose such and such brand because it's cheaper. The problem with that is many times is that the less expensive brand may be decent quality. I won't, argue against the quality, but many times I will see that people have to take 4 or 5 of that thing, and they're not taking 4 or 5 because they never read the label. And what happens is they'll say, these things don't work because I've been taking it for 5 months or whatever, and it's not working. Well, it may not be working because you're not taking the proper dose. Number 1, may not be good quality. Number 2, or you're not taking them consistently. So I want to underscore that really important. First and foremost, the best multivitamin, the best supplement is the one that is taken consistently and the one that meets good manufacturer criteria. Number 1 on my list is transparency. Read the label. Read the label. Visit the website of the manufacturer to review the quality controls. You want to have a supplement or multivitamin that has a high level of quality and consistency in every batch. So you want to be knowing where your multivitamins are coming from. You want to know the manufacturer. Read up on the quality controls. Sustainability. You want to be looking for where your product is made. When, like, for example, fish oils. Fish can be sourced from fisheries that aim to protect endangered species and their ocean environment. So you want to be looking at, when it comes to, for example, as I said, fish oils, you want to be looking at where their fish are sourced from. You want to be looking for the testing. Every batch of multivitamin or supplement should be tested by a third party for contaminants like heavy metals and PCBs. So you want to see on your manufacturer's webpage what sort of third party testing they have in place for their multivitamin or their supplement. And another thing that's really important, you want minimal to zero use of fillers, binders, artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, and all those kinds of things. If you've got a multivitamin that's got all of these binders and fillers and whatnot, it's going to take a lot more time for that multivitamin to break down. So I'm one who prefers powders and liquid form when I can get them. If not, I'm looking for other products that have minimal fillers and binders, and especially artificial colors and flavors and sweeteners. I just don't find those things to be necessary, especially when it comes to multivitamins and supplements. Most important, as I said, look at the serving size. You want to be sure that you're taking exactly what you need to be taking. You don't want to be shortchanging yourself, because that's when the multivitamin is not going to work, or the supplement is not going to work. If the label says 5 pills are necessary, you need to be following what the guidance is. Okay. So To wrap up this episode, I just want to go over the highlights, what we talked about from the very beginning. You want to be doing good detective work. You want to be personalizing your supplement and multivitamin plan, not rushing out and just buying anything. Google is your friend in certain cases. But when it comes to this, you want to have personalized recommendations, not going off of what someone else is doing or what someone's tweeting about or saying, I took this and it changed my life. That's great. I'm happy for that person. But you want to be focused on your own nutrient needs. And how you do that is by seeing your own healthcare provider. Also thinking about partnering with a registered dietitian, nutritionist, lifestyle medicine coach like myself or others who are able to do functional medicine testing to help you drill down into those really, really important elements: organic acids, amino acids, essential and metabolic fatty acids, nutrients, and toxic elements. So you want to be doing that. You want to be doing your detective work to be sure that you know the potency of your multivitamins. You want to be going over your lab results and understanding them with a fine-tooth comb, understanding which nutrients you need in their most biologically active form. Okay, so we talked about that. And then finally, you want to build your multivitamin with the supplements, with the elements, the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the phytonutrients, all of the ones that are most important for your good health, for oxidative stress, for cellular metabolism, for DNA protection, all of those things. Okay, so that's going to wrap up this episode, but I've got a little bit more I want to tell you. Hold on, here it is. We have officially launched the Fit and Functional for Life community. Yes, the actual members only private community. Let me tell you, I am so excited. I'm so excited because you know what? I believe that community is more important now than ever before. This global pandemic, from one country to the next, to the next, to the next, has really changed our lives. It's changed our lives in so many ways. We need each other now more than ever before. And all of the science points to one fact. No matter where you are on the globe, the science points to one fact. We know that human connection is essential to good physical and mental health. Period. Full stop. We need a sense of community. And, Fit and Functional for Life is really all about bringing together people who really do believe that good health is the first wealth. People who are ready to redefine what health looks like. People who are ready to just ditch all of this one-size-fits-all healthcare, fad diets, quick fixes, life hacks. What is a life hack, right? People who want to create meaningful lifestyle changes so that we can start experiencing more sharper mental focus, more energy, deeper clarity, greater physical strength, and just that free-flowing joy in every area of our lives. I know that I'm hungry for that, and I know that people around the world are hungry for that. The question is, are you hungry for that? I value real community, real caring, and real conversation. I come from community health. I come from, in the beginning of my career, I worked as a visiting nurse and did home care and house calls and was very active in my community. When I started my practice, Siva Health, the first thing I was doing was house calls. I still do house calls. I love being in the community. I love teaching. I love learning from others. And that's what we're doing in the Fit and Functional for Life community. We value real community and real caring and real conversation. And we find joy and excitement and working together towards common goals. And when we buck up against challenges, we enjoy navigating those challenges together, because ultimately we know that we are stronger together than we are apart, and we want lasting results and real personal transformation, the kind of transformation that is just virtually impossible to achieve alone. So I want you to really hop on over to our home base. It's getfitandfunctionalforlife.com. I want you to start surrounding yourself with the kind of people who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you. Okay? I want you to see how we are bringing this community together worldwide. The courses that we're launching, the day-to-day conversations that we're having, the challenges that we're putting before us at the physical level, the mental level, the spiritual level. You know, the greatest danger, there's a quote that I love, the greatest danger for most of us is not that we aim too high and we miss it, but that we aim too low and we reach it. So this community is about people who are aiming really high in their life. And I know if you're a listener to this podcast, I know for sure that you're one of those people. So hop on over to our new home base for the Fit and Functional for Life community. It's at getfitandfunctionalforlife.com. We've designed a community that's going to help you unlock your potential, master new skills, make more well-informed decisions, forge new relationships, build stronger, healthier habits, and achieve the level of personal transformation that is nearly impossible to achieve alone. I want you to get in on that. I really do. So hop on over to our website, getfitandfunctionalforlife.com. Come on and join us and start moving toward that personal transformation that you know you want in your life. Okay. I hope this episode has been helpful for you. I hope you get on over to our community, getfitandfunctionalforlife.com. Have a look at our community and what's happening there. Leave me a comment. Share this podcast with others. Let me know if there's content that you want me to speak about. If you've got a question that you want me to address, I am all ears, because one of the things I really do believe is that we're all learning together and we're learning from one another. So let's build that beloved community. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and until next time, be well and be good to yourself. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Healthy House Calls with Angel. I hope today's episode leaves you feeling inspired, motivated, and empowered to live your best life by applying the practical tools of holistic lifestyle medicine to eat, sleep, move, and live better. Please don't forget to subscribe wherever you receive this podcast. Check in for show notes and share this podcast with friends. If you'd like even more tips in your inbox, subscribe to my newsletter, Healthy House Calls with Angel, by using the link in the show description. Until next time, be well and be good to yourself.